What is going on YouTube? Lamont on the run. Today we are in Bok Cheetah, Oklahoma. Bok Cheetah is Choctaw language for big river. Check out those trucks across the street. That was when trucks used to look cool back in the good old days. I don't know if I would have put those rims on that orange truck though. Personally, they ruined it. Bok Cheetah. Anyways, enough about that. As you guys know, this channel is still, going through changes, if you will, but definitely I would not say it's much of a current events channel because I am busy with the other channel, so I don't have time that, for instance, when a story breaks, for me to come on here and talk about it. So this is a story that I've talked about on Lamont at Large before, but I just wanted to kind of weigh in my personal opinion about it. So as you guys know, when I talk about a story, even though you might not be particularly interested in the subject, I always try to frame the stories where I feel that an average person, even though they're not into a particular subject, that you will find it somewhat interesting how I present it to you. So let's talk about quickly the murder of 26-year-old Chicago-based rapper Carlton Weekly. He was rapping under the moniker FBG Duck. He was very, very popular in the Chicago music scene and basically all over the country and the world as well. So on August 4th, 2020, Carlton Weekly, FBG Duck, was shopping at the Gold Coast in Chicago. Basically, it's like Rodeo Drive of Los Angeles or Saks Fifth Avenue in New York. So broad daylight, August 4th, 2020, about 4:30 p.m., 5 people run up on him, pull out their guns and just started shooting. Carlton Weekly was with his girlfriend. She was shot twice in the arm. His friend was shot multiple times. He almost died, but he ended up making it. Carlton Weekly, according to Cook County Coroner's examiners, officials, was shot a multitude of times, at least 16 times. He died within about an hour, less than an hour after he was shot. So the murder had gone unsolved. I want to say a little less than a year, don't quote me. Maybe 10 months. And then 5 individuals that were responsible for the crime, they were arrested. One, Charles Liggins, 30 years of age, who goes by the name of C. Murda. The prosecution's gonna love that one. Kenneth Roberson, 28, known as Kenny Mack. To Carlos Offord, instead of Carlos, just to Carlos, goes by the name of Los, 30 years of age. And you had Christopher Thomas, also known as C-Thang, age of 22. And then rounding up the 5 morons is Marcus Smart, also known as Muwop. He's 22 years of age. That guy, Muwop, the last one that I mentioned, he's the only one of these guys that I know of that actually has some kind of a record deal signed. So all these guys were arrested. They're sitting in the feds right now. They're being charged federally with murder in aid of racketeering, assaults in aid of racketeering, and federal firearms violations. These guys will be going to trial this year. The trial starts October 2nd. It's going to last about 4 weeks. I'm not quite sure what the prosecutor is trying to get them for in terms of the punishment. Bare minimum, they're looking at life in prison. Maximum, the death penalty. I don't know yet exactly what they're going to go for. So these idiots, right? And I believe one of them, I forgot which one, he was already in jail on a murder charge anyways. So he was sitting in jail, and then the other people, they kind of wrapped these guys up. So let me briefly tell you how these guys were caught, because this was a very brazen murder. It was a very, very sloppy murder. It was a very, very sloppy crime. And it was quite a clever way of how they were caught. So basically, these guys were caught by the help of their social media, because these guys, they rap and then they brag about who they've killed, what they've done. And all the police have to do is just sit back and listen to the music. And they were noticing that these clowns and their music were talking about taking part or taking credit for the murder of Carlton Weekly. So what they did was they went to the apartments where these guys live, or hang out with people who live, and they got all of the videotapes from the building, and they did a timeline of when he was murdered, how long it would take for them to drive from that section of town to where Carlton Weekly was located. I personally don't know yet how they discovered where Carlton Weekly was at and how they knew he was there. I don't know if he made some kind of a social media post, whatever. So they got all of the video cameras from all of the businesses along that route. And it took them quite a while to do this. And then they tracked down one of the cars that was rented by one of the individuals under his name, of course. And then the other car that was seen on the video where the guys jumped out and murdered Mr. Weekly. One of the guys, I believe it was his car, Charles Liggins, and they found the murder car about a week later. And in the murder car was Facebook login instructions with his name on it. So yeah, so they got these guys on video coming out of their apartment, jumping into their cars. They got a business surveillance video of them driving down the street, going up to the Gold Coast, of them jumping out, shooting him, driving back to their section of town, hopping out of the cars, and then you can see their faces in the video. So it is a wrap for these guys, no pun intended. But it is a total wrap for these clowns. These guys will never, ever see the light of day. And also, this is coming out. I don't know if this is rumor or fact, but it's looking this way. That deceased rapper King Von, real name Davon Bennett, he paid $100,000 to whoever would kill FBG Duck. Of course, King Von and FBG Duck are bitter rivals in the gang world, rap world, whatever. So you mean to tell me, and guys, you got to make it make sense, right? You got to make it make sense. You mean to tell me that, okay, King Von says, okay, $100,000 reward for FBG Duck's murder, right? So you got to think, okay, 5 guys, we're going to get $100,000. We'll split it 5 ways. That's $20,000 each to kill somebody. To kill somebody so brazenly and then risk going to jail because we're planning the murder. And then King Von is stupid enough to actually pay somebody $100,000. If this guy was still alive, he would probably be in jail right now. He would be doing life if he wasn't dead. So these guys basically ended their whole life. They're going to be sitting in prison forever over $20,000. Now, if I was a stupid gangbanger, right? If I was a moron, I personally, instead of killing somebody for $20,000 and doing it in a crazy broad daylight execution, which is basically what it was, what I would do is I would say I could think of a better way to make $20,000. And that way is to start a YouTube channel and start vlogging about all the gang stuff that happens in Chicago. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to make $20,000 right away, but you build your channel up and you're making money the legal way. If you had to do it the illegal way, you could have robbed a bank. For $20,000, one of those guys could have said, you know what? I want $20,000 really badly. I'm going to go ahead and rob a bank. You would have not only made $20,000. I mean, hell, if you did it smart, you could have probably got $100,000. Just depends. It's more than likely you would have got away. If you rob a bank, I believe you have a 9 out of 10 chance of getting away if you rob one bank. But then a lot of bank robbers, they can't stop robbing banks. And then what happens is they get caught because they start robbing multiple banks. The more times you rob a bank, the more chance you have of getting caught. But one of those guys could have just said, yeah, man, you know, yeah, $20,000 to kill somebody. Man, I'd rather just go rob a bank. And then all you got to do is take a trip up to Wisconsin. Go to a bank that's by a freeway. Just, you know, you don't even have to have a gun. You just slip them a note. I got a bomb in my bag. Give me all the money in the drawer, and give me all the money in the next teller's drawer too. Don't make any moves. Don't make any funny things. Don't put any packs in there. Don't do anything stupid. And everyone's gonna be okay. And that's it. And you're done. But because of this moron, these 5 idiots, the sloppy 5, as Trench's News calls it, now they're all going to be sitting in prison for the rest of their lives. Anyways, all right, guys, I got to get out of here. I'm making my way east. Got to hit the road. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you guys think. These idiots. Do you think I should write them a letter saying if they want to do an interview? Anyways, live but not live from Bachito, Oklahoma. I gotta go. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.